This meeting of the Palmyra Borough Council to order. Everyone please rise for a pledge of allegiance and moment of silence for the armed services.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brenda, may we please have roll call?
Counselor Andrews,
Present.
Counselor Catalani,
Here.
Counselor Flego. Here. Counselor Caroli.
Here.
Counselor Riddell.
Here.
Rydell. I'll get it. Counselor Tache.
Here.
Counselor Shear.
Here.
Mayor Carpenter. We have a full house.
All right, just a reminder to all council members, please make sure your microphones are on if they're not already on. And also, to the audience and everyone else, please silence all cellular devices during the meeting. Thank you. No special visitors scheduled, which takes us to public comment period number 1. Please state your name and address for the record and try to limit your comments to 5 minutes.
Hi, Brona Hauser, 134 East Maple Street. Just making sure that everybody who wants to be in the parade has emailed us back. I know we got a few, but anybody else who would like to be in it, please feel free. The more the merrier. I'd like to see all your faces there. That's pretty
You
much
should
it.
have mine now.
Thanks, Jen, you're the best. Okay, that's it.
No, if I was the best, I would have done it 3 weeks ago when I thought about it.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Just go over to the microphone for me, please. Thank you.
My name's Jim Hauser, 88 Evergreen Alley, Palmyra. I have a handout to pass. I didn't realize there'd be so many people, so if you don't mind sharing. I'm a member of the Shadowstone Village community, and another representative myself, attending here to present something to you so that you're aware and also to ask for your support. Since our village has been purchased by out-of-state corporate investors, we've had 3 lot rent increases averaging over 10% each month. Now, we're talking about a community that's people here retired to live in this beautiful area with near medical services and shopping and everything else. The largest part of our budget, obviously, is our lot rent. We own our homes, but we pay lot rent. We get no services for those rents other than having the property to have our homes and having the streets plowed. Those 3 years of over 10% increases have put a significant burden. It's like you taking 10% increasing your mortgage or your apartment every month by 10% a year. And I'm presenting it to you folks to let you know that the impact's already been felt. We have people that have had to choose between food and medicine. We have a lot of widows there where they're living on a single Social Security income. And there are 2 bills in legislature right now, bills 805 in the House and 861 in the Senate. I presented you a letter asking for your support to write to the legislators and ask them for their support in getting those moved through. I see a point where with diminishing disposable income, the residents here who aren't typically Amazon shoppers and who come to the businesses here, we eat here, we shop here, they'll have less disposable income. They won't be able to do all those things. So I do encourage that. We were discouraged, although our group, our statewide coalition is growing by leaps and bounds. There's 1.5 million of us live in these communities that are being impacted by these investors coming in there and basically gouging us. So if you would consider I have a draft letter or anything that you would draft to support us, I'd appreciate.
Have you spoke with our local legislator?
I've visited Harrisburg twice. I've met with 30 representatives or their aides. I've spoken with Senator Gephardt's aide on several occasions at length. I spoke with Mr. Diamond, who has now become a co-sponsor of the legislation. And as an aside, I know I'm in a very conservative area, and I'm a longtime conservative voter, but I'm at the point where I'm tired of hearing how, the Democrats are the party of the people and the Republicans are about corporate greed, but I hate to tell you, but the majority of the senators in the State House have co-signed the bill. Only 2 Republicans have. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam President, just as an aside, we have noticed an increase in our delinquent accounts in the Shadowstone community. And the concern for that is that because they don't own their land, because they don't own the property, we have literally no recourse to go after those delinquents. So we're experiencing it too.
For those of you who didn't get a copy, Roger's gonna
I was
scan it
just
and
gonna ask
email
him
it
if he'd
to
do
us.
that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Okay, all right, closing public comment period number 1. Moving on to the consent calendar. Approve the minutes of the April 30th, 2024 Borough Council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Aye, opposed? Okay, that takes us to the action and discussion items. Resolution 2024-17, amend the 2024 fee resolution, discussion on and if appropriate, to approve Resolution 2024-17, a resolution amending the 2024 fee resolution by adding a late fee for rental registration applications received after the November 30th deadline. I just have a question. When did we talk about this?
We haven't, you're talking about it now.
Okay.
This is,
I didn't remember talking about it, and
No,
I'm
we
thinking,
didn't.
okay, I know it's been crazy lately. Okay,
this is a request from our code officers because they deal with a lot of delinquent payments for the rental registrations, so, which causes a lot of extra work for the office to send out letters and extra postage and whatnot, so they felt it was justified to impose the fee. We checked with the borough solicitor. She also agreed there's no reason that we can't do it. So it's just a simple matter of adding it to the fee resolution if you're inclined to do it. If not, then the answer is no, but.
So, again, this is gonna be one of those fees that's gonna be passed on to the renter. So, I mean, chances are if a landlord's gonna pay $50 for the unit and a possible $50 late fee, they're gonna raise it in the rent anyway, so.
Well, if they pay in time, they won't get the $50 late fee.
Agreed. That I agree with.
Yeah.
Is it a substantial amount of people who are paying it late?
Well, oh, yeah, it's past the November 30th date, absolutely.
I don't have a problem with it.
any discussion?
Brenda, about how many are they getting for late? Out of curiosity, off the top of your head by chance, if you know, like.
Well, as of November the 30th, I would comfortably tell you that we have probably half of the people who are late out of 1,500. We don't get, until we start doing the effort to get those rental registrations in, we start getting them after the first of the year. We have a couple now that we will be taking to court because they've never filled them out.
A question, why did we ever pick November 30th as a deadline? Why isn't it,
To give them time to fill it
December 1st.
out before the end of the year
I
for
mean,
the
December 31st?
beginning of
What's the due date on it?
November the 30th
It
is the
isn't,
due date.
So there's a
And we,
grace
we
period
send the
for it.
letters out October the 1st.
Okay, all right, so the letter is ahead of time.
Oh, yeah.
They have a letter when
They
I
have
get it.
plenty of time to get
I
the
mean, I
letter.
get them every year, I just don't know what
Yes.
it
We
is.
give them 2 months to get it in by November the 30th, and I would comfortably tell you at least half of the 1,500.
Crazy.
I don't know, you, am I?
No, I think you're right.
So my only dilemma, again, is, number one, they should be paying on time. Number two, I realize the strain it puts on borough employees to continue pursuing this, but, again, it's just another thing that's gonna be passed along, and I don't know that renters can.
The initial $50 fee, you are not recouping your costs for that.
Yeah.
So you're already losing with that $50 fee. Understandably that, you know, you have to keep it reasonable, and to us, we consider it a cost of doing business.
Yeah.
So if you have a rental registration ordinance, it's the cost of doing business.
And maybe it's just because I have a negative opinion of the whole ordinance, and I have since day one, but
So I'm gonna throw another wrench into the whole thing.
What's that?
I'm gonna throw another wrench into the whole discussion. And I don't know, maybe I'm way off. But I kind of think if we would move it to December 31st, being that it's a yearly thing.
Well, we can't get them processed in time. I mean, it's very tough for us now. So the ones that do comply, we have a month of which to get them processed and out, and we don't always make it.
Okay,
Okay? So
Okay.
that is why it was November the
Okay.
30th.
all right.
So that we
never
could
mind.
get them out by the 1st of January. However, by the 1st of January, we're pursuing at least half of the people who have rental units in this town to get their initial application in.
I was just trying to put myself on the other side, thinking if I would have a yearly thing, to me, it'd be easier to remember by the end of the year I have something due, not November 30th.
Well, they're gonna
Follow what I'm
forget it-
saying?
They're gonna forget it December 31st if they can't remember it November the 30th.
And we get the paperwork far enough ahead of time. I mean, I'm notorious, I forget it too. But then all of a sudden I pull out this random piece of paper, going, oh man, I gotta get this in. But we can do it online, as I recall.
Well, they'll have more options this time with the new software program. We're gonna have that up and running where they can actually apply online.
Yeah, it'll be much easier.
Yes.
I'm not opposed to the late fee, I'm just was thinking that
is there
deadline
any-
might be throwing people.
advantage to staggering the fee? In other words, maybe 30 days, 50, and then, you know, beyond that, $100 more or something to that effect? Is there any advantage, disadvantage of that? Or do you think that would, I mean, some people are gonna be late regardless, but
Do we have anybody that's more than 30 days late?
I don't know if that's gonna make it
Well,
more
I mean,
difficult
I'm-
or what, but.
Oh, heck
Never
yes.
paid.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the
Yeah,
sewer bill.
we have to, we do 3 letters and then you go to court.
And I have to agree with Jane on this. I mean, it's gonna come back on the renter, which, you know, we just heard from a gentleman here with their properties, you know, it's. And I've actually talked to a few of them when out, because I live right in front of it, and there's people there that's medication or food. You know, and it's one of those catch-22s. It's because the landlord does not wanna do their job, they're gonna punish their tenant.
Is Shadowstone subject to this?
No.
Because it's a
Unless they
different,
rent the
the actual
manufactured
unit.
home.
Got it. Well, to me, I mean, if you pass the cost on to your tenant, if your tenant doesn't like it, they can move. I mean, essentially. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, but,
Yeah, that's not so easy anymore.
No,
The way
but-
rents are.
You can find a place,
You
and
know.
it's difficult.
You're just gonna have to plan it accordingly. Just put it on your schedule, have an alert, and get it done. That's,
Responsible landlord.
I mean, that's how I do with my stuff, so that's how I look at it, because if you do that, then you just won't be late, then there won't be any issue.
I don't know that a lot of the people that we're talking about, it's not a matter of them forgetting, like me.
yeah.
It's a matter of them just not doing it.
Yeah.
I think maybe this might help you. Have a mass meeting of all the members there. Sit down and explain to them what's going to take place if they're allowed it, and they're gonna be allowing it, like doing, he's shaking his head in the back. You don't think that would work?
Correct that, Beth.
Him in the back.
I don't know if I should talk in this forum about it, but I can share with you separately about.
Mayor, we're
how to
past
handle
that. Mayor, we're past that. You'll have to talk to him after the meeting, okay? So do you just need a motion from us then for this?
Just to pass the resolution, yeah.
Just the resolution.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. All right. So I read the motion, did I? No, I did not, I'm sorry. Resolution 2024-17, amend 2024 fee resolution. Discussion on, and if appropriate, suggested motion to approve Resolution 2024-17, a resolution amending the 2024 fee resolution by adding a late fee for rental registration applications received after the November 30th deadline. Read that, because then I asked when we discussed it. I'm not losing it.
I move, I guess.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
And just as an aside, real quick, the November 30th date was chosen because we didn't realize we had that many rentals in this town at the time that you passed the ordinance. We only found out how many rentals you had after the first year that we sent out the information. Nobody knew that it was 1,500.
1,500, yeah.
You know, plus, actually, we're over 1,500 now, so.
Okay. All right, President's report. I don't have any, no, I don't have anything this week, this time. Takes us to the financial statement. Everybody, no. Financial statement as of April 30th will be available at the next meeting. Takes us to the delinquent sewer and refuse account report. Everybody has that in front of them.
Looks good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Compared to last year at this time, it looks really good.
Yeah.
Thank the ladies as always. Anybody have any questions on that? That takes us to fire department. Okay, good. Anything?
I don't think so.
Police department?
Reading.
Loving that,
Yeah.
but I did send, I have more to send, don't worry.
Thank you.
It's National Police Week, so I did the bike ride for Law Enforcement United over 3 days. Today, Sergeant Matthews and I went down to the event that they had at the county for the police memorial that they do every year, so we did that. What else have we been working on? Regional stuff, cars are getting decaled, uniforms forms are coming in. Brenda lots of credit, because she has pretty much set up all my healthcare, my payroll.
Take it out of his pay.
Sure, and all of it, I'll give her that, like, without her, I'd be a mess. I'm being honest, without you helping.
Thank you.
We would not be where we need to be. She's done a lot of that work, set a lot of things up, and I'm probably still gonna be a pain in her butt, cause it's gonna be, so how do I do that again? Because it's a different language of learning what's a W-9, what's this form, what's that form, and I just look like a deer in headlights, like, okay, can we speak that in English for me? So, but she's been a lot of help doing all of that stuff, so.
You're
thank you
welcome,
for
but
all
just so you know, you're starting June the 1st, and I planning to retire June the 2nd.
Not yet.
No.
I'm learning about HR. What else have we been doing? So we're gonna order Quickens this week, and they're gonna help us, Quicken Books, you're gonna teach us how to do that, or we're gonna learn together how to do that, because I think they're gonna have to get it too, because they don't have a choice.
Are you
So-
getting the online or the desktop?
Desktop.
Okay. Because there's, from what
Yes.
I understand, I've never worked with it, but from what I understand, there's quite a big difference, and desktop is,
To the online, yes. Mhm.
They're both terrible.
I mean, that's kind of where we are. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things to be done. So, unless you have specific things.
I don't. Does anybody else?
no, but you said it's National Police Week? Sorry that I didn't know that, so please pass our thanks on.
Yeah. Is it always this week in?
Yeah.
I didn't remember, I'm sorry. I know it's National Nurses Week too.
It's always the week after Teacher Appreciation Week. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Or Nurses Week, yeah.
Nurses is this week too.
No, Nurses was last week.
Nurses and teachers were last week.
Okay. Anybody have anything for the police department? No? Okay. Planning Commission did not meet in April. Next scheduled meeting is Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024, beginning at 7 PM. That takes us to the Public Works Department. Everybody should have the superintendent's report in front of them for April. Any questions on that or comments? Yay, nay? Nope, okay. Then we're at Borough Properties.
I tried to get an update on when the HVAC controls might be scheduled, and I think they're still waiting for parts, because I didn't get a response, so no update for there. We thought we had the clock fixed at the town square. There was a new controller put in, and it worked great for a day and a half, and now it doesn't work again. It's not keeping time again, so we're not sure what's going on with that thing. So that's still work in progress. And as far as borough properties, I think that's it. For parks, we had a kind of a special use request for Memorial Park. There was a letter in your packet from Pennsylvania War Horse. And they would like to use Memorial Park on October 5th for their fundraising event. And since this is the first time we would have something like horses in the park, we thought we better get permission from council for that use. So that's why the motion is on for your consideration.
All right, so the suggested motion is to approve the request made by Pennsylvania War Horse to utilize Memorial Park on Saturday, October 5th for a fundraising event with 2 Mission barbecue trucks and 1 or 2 rehabilitating off-the-track thoroughbred horses to benefit Pennsylvania War Horse, a nonprofit corporation founded in 2019. The approval shall be contingent upon submission of a park rental application, payment of park rental fee, and providing a certificate of liability insurance in the amount of $1 million.
President Scheer. Before we make the motion on this, I want to let council know, I am a member of PA War Horse. I'm a board member. I'm also a rehabilitated veteran from this program.
Okay.
So if you have any questions at all, I'd be glad to answer them for you guys, but I will be abstaining from the vote on this.
That's fine.
So my questions are, a question and a comment, I guess. Does this interfere with any football midget football? Okay. No. A comment is, I'm assured that it goes without saying, and I certainly do not want to offend this organization, but we definitely want to make sure that the things are cleaned up after the event. I mean, we've all,
I've contacted Donna.
thank you.
And, because,
thought of that too, Jean.
couple of things.
I mean, it's not like you got a puppy dog running in
Brenda,
the
we,
field.
Brenda, we would definitely clean up. I mean,
Yeah, I
we
know, and
come
I know,
prepared.
and again, certainly don't wanna offend the organization, they're
No, it's a horse,
very
I get
worthy,
it. They
but
do
it's a
things in
horse.
public like a dog
Yeah.
does, yeah, but
Yeah.
in a bigger form.
Yeah.
But they've been advised that their Mission Barbecue trucks cannot be on the parking
right.
lot. They have to be on North Chestnut Street. They've been advised that residents that walk their dogs in the park have to clean up, so therefore, they've been advised about the requirement to fill out the application, to submit the fee, and to get a certificate of liability. And none of everything that we've talked to them about so far has been a reason for them not to consider the park, if you allow them. See how it goes, and
I
And
say
this is,
so moved.
it's a fundraiser for us because it's hard making money just from, it's hard to get federal money even for this program. We just got affiliated with the VA actually with the veterans.
All right, so I have a first and a second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And
Abstain.
we
abstain.
didn't have a first and a second.
Yes.
We did.
I was the
Jane
first
and
and
Bruno.
And Jim,
I mean
okay, well,
Jim,
thank
sorry.
you. We didn't hear that.
Sorry. I was over this side somewhere.
Call me anything.
Refuse and recycling, I'm still putting the finishing touches on the hauling contract, so I'm a little behind where I thought I would be, so trying to get that to the finish line. Sewer system, nothing exciting there. Sinkholes, the only thing new we've had, and it was kind of at the same time we were doing the agenda, is over on Forge and Birch. That went down a little bit on the private side of the curb. I'm not sure, it's been filled in, I'm not sure who did it. I don't know who filled it. It's filled back to
Is
grade.
this the
so-
one you're talking about on Grant? Not
No,
Grant?
South Forge,
I
Forge
got a
and Birch.
phone call on that.
On the west side.
yes.
Yes.
Individual called me, I wasn't home, left a message to return his call. I went to return his call, and I got a voice message that this is not a right number, et cetera, et cetera. So I hung up, called again. 5 times I tried. So whoever was trying to call me about the sinkhole never got through.
So hopefully it doesn't take, because it kind of started that way the last time that took the whole street down, and then PennDOT fixed that. So it was quite the excavation when they fixed it, but, so
That
we'll
was
just have to
PennDOT
keep.
that was there the other day.
Okay,
The little keystone on the door.
yeah. That surprises me, since it's on the curb side of the.
And I
that
don't think,
PennDOT would do that.
I've seen guys working there, but they look like they're not PennDOT.
Yeah, like I said, I have no idea.
I'll try to keep better notice of who they are when I
Yeah, because you're
drive
going by there
Yeah,
every day now.
yeah.
So far, that's been the only thing new. The old ones on the list are holding steady, so nothing new to report there. Our stormwater management project, the Phase A, we're just waiting for the railroad to let us know when they're gonna have flagging and construction monitors available, and, in fact, I was included in an email chain today. Kinsley's foreman was asking, like, when are we gonna be able to do this? You know, and the response is, we don't know. We don't have enough people. We're stretched thin. We're very busy right now. Like I said before, it could be up to 90 days. So that's the only answer we got as of today. So, we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. Street and alley maintenance. I know one of our guys has been working on some of the potholes in the alleys and on the streets. And we're still just using cold patch at this point until we can fix enough of them to go get some hot mix and fix them the right way.
Fixed.
Yeah. Nothing to report on traffic signals, so as far as Public Works, that's pretty much a wrap.
Solicitor's report. Ordinance number 830, amend chapter 314, streets and sidewalks. Discussion on and if appropriate, suggested motion to authorize the Borough Solicitor to advertise ordinance number 830, an ordinance to amend chapter 314, streets and sidewalks to update regulations and make technical corrections. Any discussion on that one?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, ordinance number 831, disband Palmyra Borough Police Department. Discussion on and if appropriate, suggested motion to authorize the Borough Solicitor to prepare ordinance number 831, an ordinance to disband the Palmyra Borough Police Department and name the Western Lebanon County Regional Police Department as the borough's police department.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, did,
And a question.
I'm sorry, I
Sorry.
didn't see that. You need to holler at me.
I understand why we're doing this. I get what the whole regional thing. Let's just say something happens and the regional disappears. Are we able to reenact this back into our code, or do we have to draw the whole ball of wax all up again?
well, there's a process if the regional disbands, yes.
I'm
Then we
curious,
have
because I
to-
wasn't involved when that was there. That's why
Then
I'm
I'm
asking.
assuming we'd have to appoint the Palmyra Borough
Yeah, we'd
Police
have to
Department
just
again.
change your ordinance back.
Go back.
And also, after reading Joselle's letter, there's a whole bunch of things that, in the ordinances that need changed as a result of the regional
Yes.
department.
Yes,
So
because
she will go through, I didn't have it in the motion because I didn't have a thorough understanding of her letter at the time I did this. So there's a bunch of stuff that needs amended. So this will all be,
Because it'll
A
all need to
comprehensive-
say Western Lebanon,
Yeah.
yeah.
yes.
What do I need to do because I missed his question? Am I
That's
good?
for the vote again.
Just, yeah, you didn't
Okay.
vote yet.
All right, so all those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
But I missed your question.
Oh, that's all right.
All right, letter dated May 4th, 2024, concerning the sinkhole in the McIntosh Crossing Homeowners Association Stormwater Management Detention Basin.
In Joselle's letter, her questions for council were, do you want to pursue an enforcement action against the homeowners association? And do we want to, what, if we're going to amend the things she suggested, are we going to update our International Property Maintenance Code from our current 2009 version to the 2024 version? She recommended doing that.
Okay,
Well,
so
number
My
one-
question,
I'm gonna step out of this discussion because I am on the McIntosh Crossing Homeowners Association. And actually, all I will tell you is that I missed the last meeting because I had a meeting here, but there's I don't know that it's been technically turned. I'm on the homeowners association, but we technically don't have anything yet. Like, we're not a true entity. The owner, the builder still runs it.
okay, so my question. The stormwater management agreement. Do we have a copy of the plan? Was it recorded? Was it ever fully executed and recorded for that development?
I looked, and I have the agreements that Joselle prepared, but I have nothing signed. Nothing was given
Does-
back to us recorded.
does that
I reached
fall
out
back- Okay.
to Chad Weaver about that, and he never responded to that either.
Okay, you might wanna look at Orchard Hill. Because that basin was originally in Orchard
Yeah,
Hill.
it was-
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay, so okay. Because they technically had to get Orchard Hill residents to okay it being turned over to McIntosh Crossing, so.
Okay, so if that's the case, we need to figure that out before we go any further, correct? Because if it's never been turned over from,
Well,
I
I mean, the
think even-
deed's been transferred. In early January, it was recorded, the deed was changed to the homeowners association. but she said that it appears that the address for the homeowners association is still the developer's address, so it's. And I know, I've received a few calls from, I don't know who your president is, but I think that's who it was.
I don't even know that we've elected them.
Right, well,
We
that's,
have- yeah.
because they were upset when they heard about that, because DEP was also doing an enforcement action on them illegally burying the astroturf in the other sinkholes, so that was going on, and they were.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, yeah, that's how they were filling some of the sinkholes with, which there's, accordingly, that's ranked by DEP as a hazardous material, so there's a certain way you have to get rid of that stuff.
know that.
Yeah, well, he was putting it in the holes to help plug them, so they had to do an observed excavation to remove that stuff. And all at about the same time as when the whole deed transfer thing was coming up, and it was like, I think your association was worried that they were just trying to dump all this stuff on you, and
How did
I
I
don't-
miss
I
this?
don't know.
I mean, I literally, my backyard is on there. It's on the basin. How did I miss all of that?
Okay, so,
So, number one, I don't have a copy of this letter. It was not one in my packet.
oh, I missed you.
So it wasn't a big deal. I'm almost glad because
Sorry about that.
I just assumed that this was something that we got late or was gonna get late and we were gonna get tonight, so.
So it sounds to me from reading your letter a couple times today that, I mean, you're clear to do an enforcement action. If that's what you decide to do. And she's willing to, she said it would be a tricky one, so she would prepare it, and one of our code officers would have to issue the letter to the association.
but then why is she saying on page 1? Or am I missing something?
Oh, so he did deed it over. That's the meeting I missed in January.
Oh,
We have one meeting a year, and I missed it because I had another meeting, so.
Why did she say we should determine if we have a copy of the plan as recorded? The stormwater management agreement? Why is she questioning it was ever fully executed and recorded for the development? What part does that play in it?
I'm not sure, but because there's notes on the plan that I think refer to the stormwater management agreement that would make the developer responsible for certain things on the plan.
Okay.
But if it was never executed and never recorded, then it didn't happen yet, so.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not good at reading all
And
this
this
legalese
plan
stuff.
was not a plan submitted to the borough, it was submitted to the county.
Right,
So we had no control over any of
Okay.
this stuff, so.
So could the county have a copy of something like that?
Who knows? And if we call down there and ask, we probably won't get very far.
so we have to,
Which is why we do our own.
Yeah,
we have to send the violation to the association. We can't send it to the
Yeah.
builder because of,
well, they
The
changed,
transfer.
yeah, the ownership is
Okay.
in the homeowners
Gotcha.
association as of
Gotcha.
January 8th, I think, is
Okay.
what the date of the recording was.
okay.
And Giselle was questioning those agreements because she prepared them, but she never got anything back from me that they were executed. And I don't have anything either.
So then it's up to the association to take it up with the builder.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
And because she explains in here, we can't get in the middle of that.
Right, and I
That's
see
their
that, I
issue,
see
but
that, and I
Which we
understand
don't
that.
want in the middle of
That's
that.
not our, that's not our,
Our approach is,
Fish
we
to
have a
fry.
couple things, it's basically an unsafe situation, so, the enforcement notice would be one of those where you need to take care of it, you have 30 days to do it, blah, 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 type of thing.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, and it's slowly getting
It'll get,
larger.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's,
yeah.
as I drive, and I'm pretty sure Jane sees it, kids out back there playing around it, and next thing we know, we're gonna have a kid laid in the bottom of it, cause it's probably about 30 foot deep.
I know, the only kids that are usually out there are the ones by in that little fenced-in area that I see. but people do walk their dogs and stuff.
So do you need a motion?
If you want to do an enforcement action, you should just,
I'll make a motion, we put in an enforcement action to get this thing fixed. It needs done.
I will second that. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
One abstention.
Do we need a second motion to do the International Property Maintenance Code to update that to first date?
yeah, you could do that.
Does it need a separate motion, or can it just be done?
Well, that's going to have to be done by ordinance, so the motion would be to authorize her to prepare a draft ordinance.
I'll make the motion for that.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you for catching that. Did not turn their phone off.
I did, and I don't, me and that phone.
I'll let that one
I didn't
rest.
need it to be flushed out of the toilet.
I'll just let that one go. Okay. Letter dated May 4th, 2024 regarding questions concerning school crossing guards.
I don't have that either.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Roger, what are you doing to Jane?
I don't think I have it. Nope, I got loitering, nope.
He's missing it too.
Here, Joe.
Take mine, have a copy.
I didn't help you this time.
Yeah, I know. You didn't have your rubber
Next time you need
fingers.
to come get me.
Yeah. I made 11 copies and they all disappeared, so I don't.
I only have one.
This is another kind of question that came out of the regional police, like, what's gonna happen with the school crossing guards, because the borough code says certain things. So we asked Giselle about this. And reading through her letter, it kind of makes sense. The chief and I feel it makes sense to ask the school to take the school crossing guard duties over. It's their kids. But it's completely up to the school to do that before we can really take any other action, but, because they would have to pass a resolution first to accept the school crossing guards. So I guess it doesn't hurt to ask.
I mean, the bright side, you would think they would want to take it over since they're the ones that receive all the complaints about the crossing guards, and this way they could address it in a more timely manner and take care of the problems that arise from it.
Definitely makes
So
sense.
that's not gonna happen.
Well, yes, it does make sense. We're talking about that.
Do you need a motion for us to give you the okay or just a consensus?
I don't think so. I think just looking for a consensus on it. If you would like us to
I think,
pose that
yes.
question to the school, we'll certainly do that.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yep.
There's your consensus.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Do this one? Do this one, Jane? Ground ambulance?
What?
Ground ambulance?
No, I don't have that either. I assumed that these were gonna be laying here at the desk when I got here, because there was,
Jane got half a packet.
thank you.
Okay, letter dated May 4th, 2024 regarding the ground ambulance service provider agreement with Penn State Health.
They did get back to me with the per capita rates. I do have them listed on the agenda. They're proposing the first 2 years to be $7 per capita, followed by the last 3 years at $9 per capita. So our population's 7,830, so the total cost for the first 2 years would be $54,810. The balance of the 5-year contract, the last 3 years would be $70,470. And there are other requests about the police department Giselle addresses in the letter. We can't really get involved in that because the lease is with the fire department. so we can't really compel anything to happen there. But I know the chief is working with the folks at the firehouse to see if they can do something about that or change it.
So Roger, that's $54,810 for 2 years, not.
For 2 years, for the
not
first-
the first 2 years, not 54, whatever.
Not
first
per year for the first 2 years,
Okay,
and then it'd be 70,000 per year for the last 3 years.
so that's why I was doing the math at home, so that's like $320,000 for 5 years for ambulance service.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question, again, just reading between the lines. On the back, it says that she prepared a lease agreement between the borough and the fire company in 2015. She does not know whether that document was ever executed. Was it?
I think it was because the chief was kind of upset because they just signed a new lease, like, within the last, what?
2 months.
2 months? So if that was an issue for them, you'd think they would have brought that up before they renewed the lease. But apparently, there's such a bureaucracy at Penn State Health that,
No, this
with
was
the
a,
EMS folks, that,
this was a lease
like, the
agreement between the
operational side
borough
doesn't
and
know
the
what the
fire
management's on.
company
Yes.
that she's talking about.
Yes, that would have
That's been done.
been, that was done.
That was
That's,
done.
I figured it was
That
done. I
was
just
for
wanted
the-
to make
that
sure,
was
because
for
she
the
says,
borough.
I do not know whether that document was ever executed. That's what I'm just making sure that that document, the lease agreement between the borough and the fire company in 2015, I do not know whether that document was ever executed. It granted the fire company a 29-year lease or the terms of the financing plus 5 years, whichever is longer. That document was executed,
was
correct?
done,
Okay.
yes.
I just want to make sure, because she didn't know whether it was ever executed.
Which means she didn't get a copy of the signed agreement.
So we can't do anything about the fact that they want, it would be up to the fire department if they
Right.
wanna grant the rent.
Right.
On that and reading their agreement, I was going down through its section 6 says facility that them and ourselves are to agree to negotiate in good faith the provisions of space to provide ambulance parking. That them and us are to negotiate about it.
What other options do we have? I'm really not interested in another per capita on the citizens of this borough.
You can talk to other, you can probably talk to other ambulance services. I mean, there's 2 others in the area.
I mean, I know that ambulance service is very expensive. I get it. But again, this is, everybody's paying for something. Some people are gonna use it, some people are not. I understand, but literally, was shocked when I saw the $7.
Yeah.
Well, like Marcus said, you know, the total for 5 years is $321,030. What's it gonna be after those 5 years? Is it gonna be 400,000?
Well,
500,000?
but if I remember correctly, it was, we would be able to negotiate it. I mean, it's just like any other term lease that we have, we can negotiate, but still.
But still.
I don't like what I'm seeing here, so. And I'm sure that $300,000 over the course of 5 years does not go near to what their expenses are to man this place, but.
Brenda and I met with Dave Dugan the other morning about some of the regional fire stuff he's working on. And he's a paramedic, he's been doing it for 25 years plus. He said their cost per run is like $1,800, and they don't come near recouping that. He said he's responding, because they're in the same boat. They don't have enough people, they don't have enough ambulances. A lot of the lower tier services that used to help the EMS services, like van transport things and things like that, they've all went belly up because
they're not
there's
here.
no money there.
They don't exist.
There's other people trying to start services like that, but they're struggling. His response times can be anywhere from 15 to 28 minutes. He said a lot of times they have calls, they rank them and as far as what the emergency is, and sometimes they'll make the call, sometimes they have to just, we can't do the call, so they'll have to dispatch somebody else to get there. He said, pretty much right now, if you can get an ambulance within 15 minutes, you're doing really well. So that's something to think about. And we have an ambulance parked right here most days. They don't have one here every day like they had in the past. But sometimes the ambulance is parked here, but they don't have a crew for it. So,
Yes, I don't think they staff 24/7 over here right now.
no, I don't think so. They used to. I don't think they have enough people.
I know my ex-wife is a part-timer for Penn State, and she'll work here on occasion, you know, a week, a Saturday here and there, and she goes, it can be that they're here for an hour, next thing you know, they're all the way over in Berks County, next thing they're down in Harrisburg, they're all over the place.
Yep, that's what Dave said too. They run to Berks County too.
It wouldn't
So-
be surprising if they're not fully staffed. Nope. That's the way of the world for the last
Since
4 years.
2019. So the only other providers are what you got, South Danville.
Well, yeah,
You have Life Team, you have you have Central Medical, and then you have First Aid.
first aid and
First aid and
safety.
safety, but that's in Lebanon.
Yeah.
They have a,
They've actually shrunk. They used to be in
Yeah,
Jonestown.
yeah.
They've actually really compressed this down to the city.
Be back, I can run with them.
Yeah, now they're condensed pretty much just to the city. But they're having a hard
Is there
time
any
staying.
room for negotiation, did they say, or they say that's it?
Well, we didn't even start negotiating.
Well, I'm
yet,
just,
so,
I'm
I
just
mean,
curious of
yeah.
like how, like,
Half, turn around and half it and send it back. No,
Yeah.
I'm serious, that's exactly what I would do, half it and send it back, and then
Yeah,
let
you
them
got it.
come back to you again. Now you're at 750, went to 350, or 7, went to 350.
350 and 450.
Yeah, that's what I would do too. I agree with Jim. It's,
I just don't see how residents of this borough are gonna.
it is
Because
important.
Penn State Health is the one that gave us the 7 and the 9, correct?
Yes.
That's who owns the ambulance company.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised in that agreement too.
Multiple different entities, but it's all one big.
Right.
Right.
I was surprised that's what
I
they
know.
said in that
I
thing, that they're
remember.
nonprofit. I'm like going, how is Penn State Lifeline nonprofit?
Costs $10,000 to start a
Yeah,
helicopter.
I guess, at least I would like to see if they would bring it down where it is important to have an EMS here, but at the same time, that's a lot to do to the residents.
Yeah.
That's even, besides everything else that's been transpiring, that's just a lot. But let's see if they would come down by a hefty amount, like Jim said. And then kind of work from there.
What does everybody think? Half it?
Yeah, I agree.
Shane? Nancy? Anthony?
What's up?
Respond with half? See what they say?
Half it and see what that, and try to just see if what we can get. And then are we able to put out feelers for like other providers or no?
We can, but I'm gonna bet you it's gonna be like the trash company,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna
Yeah,
come
they're not
back.
Like,
Unless you
those-
pay full price and you cover their actual costs.
The other companies are already overtaxed. They're not gonna want a bigger
all in
room.
the area.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, Anthony, my buddy, he's an EMS dispatch supervisor out of Harrisburg for Life Team, and they can barely keep staff right now. They're burnt
I
out.
mean, it's the same thing we're having with our fire department, even with the police department. It's just hard to, and business in general, it's just hard to find people to fill some of these positions. And this is a very specialized,
And
position.
unfortunately, COVID burned a lot of those people
Yeah.
out. They,
Steelton
that,
just closed their house, one house down.
Yep.
Steelton closed their firehouse down, or in the process of doing it. Because of the conflict. Remember,
Okay. All right, that takes us to the panhandling ordinance.
I did get those. So I can keep this. Yes, you
Another one
can.
to read.
And,
That one actually, I don't have.
He doesn't have that one.
You're gonna, I know I read it.
and
I'll take
I don't
some.
really have a problem with it. I know I thought I was going to last time, but I don't
Yeah,
have,
once you
the-
read
I don't
it.
have a problem with the way it's written,
Not too much, I do it. It's behind the zoning. My bad.
so.
Got it, Martha?
Yeah, I
There's
got,
a- there's a
I
whole bunch
misfiled
there.
foldered stuff to the table.
All right, any questions on that? Discussion?
Would you like her to advertise it?
I'm good with it.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
I was actually surprised that I
I'll second it.
couldn't.
I made the motion, he seconded it.
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor of Joselle advertising this ordinance? Aye. Opposed? Okay.
I don't have the next thing.
Okay, what did you get in your packet?
I don't understand. She has last month's packet.
No, I didn't get those. And it's okay.
No, it's really
Oh,
not.
no,
He's got to have a double packet.
Jane, do you want Chiefs?
it's not, no, it's not like, that. I mean, this doesn't give me a whole lot of information, so it wasn't like I was reading this.
All right, zoning and codes enforcement. Zoning officer, codes enforcement officer monthly report. Any questions on that?
You'll notice there's a lot more closed violations than in the past.
Must be that second one.
Definitely.
He's hiding. Thank you. Thank Michelle, as always. Unless that one's doing it, you know. I have a feeling it's still Michelle. I have a feeling it's still Michelle. Okay. Zoning hearing board, no hearings were conducted on Monday, May 13th. It takes us to the borough manager's report. East Ridge Road, Melrose Phase 1 construction schedule.
The developer provided us with his construction schedule, so it looks like they're gonna start next week. I'm sure it's contingent on the weather too, but, so it looks like they're gonna start next week, and it looks like they're scheduled to be wrapped up with what they're doing this year by the beginning of October, so. I guess we'll find out real soon how good they are.
Roger, this is the one on the other side of Grant.
On the north side
North side
of Ridge,
Yeah.
at Grant, yeah.
Ridge, that Grant.
That grant, yeah. Yep.
So I just thought I'd share that with you, so you have an idea what's going on there. The Phase A stormwater project we already talked about. Since we already talked about that, I can talk about the bioswale project on Lingle Avenue. We had, the contractor came back and did some adjustments after the winter weather. There was some erosion. They put the plantings in. There was a sinkhole that developed on the cabinet shop property. He was concerned about some things that were done, so there was a small change order, like $500 worth of work that the contractor came back and reshaped the swale and extended it a little bit and did that work, and then we got all that rain last week, and now it's all eroded again, so they're gonna have to come back, and it's gonna be a continual thing until it gets established. Just a kind of a tough thing when you get,
Well, and
Repetitive
unfortunately,
rain.
we've had a very wet
been
spring
very
so
wet,
far, so
yeah.
hopefully if it gives them a break a little bit.
hope so, yeah. And the other thing was mentioned earlier, our QuickBooks software is becoming obsolete, so we need to buy the new desktop version. The online version is cloud-based, which we don't want cloud-based.
No, I don't know anybody who likes that, right?
So it's $800 or $850 for 2 users. We're not budgeted for it in the administrative category, but we have $800 available in planning and zoning for ArcGIS software, which we don't really have the need for right now. So I would propose that council authorizes us to transfer that money to the admin category so that we can.
This is the
pay
once
for it.
and done, or isn't it
It's
subscription-based every year, or?
The problem is, we're with QuickBooks 2021, and as of May 31st, they are no longer supporting it. So we either have to go to the 2024 desktop, which more than likely will be the last desktop version. So
I know, I think they're pushing people.
they're
to
pushing
online.
everybody to go online, which is not how we want to go. So we're going to hold on to the next
No, I
few
don't have a
years.
problem with that, I just was, is that a yearly?
It'll be a subscription for a year.
Right, a year, okay.
I just got out of it.
I say when you go online though, because my desktop lasts for so many years.
Yes.
That's
no,
what they
this
have,
will-
right? They have the
this'll
same
be-
situation. They're out this year. They have to buy the new software,
so we
but
just
then
have to
next, there won't be a revision after this. It will be all.
Oh, for their forced to.
Right, it'll cost us $850 to download all of the 2024 version.
Okay.
Right.
And then we're done,
Okay,
until they no longer support it.
right, and then,
Then you'll have to get the
But
online.
their online version has a monthly fee, and it depends. What I found was the cheapest was $15 a month per account. And we have 16 accounts. So the $850 is, for the next couple of years, is,
minor.
yes.
This is what you use to do our books.
What's that?
This is, you use this to do our books, right?
Yes.
Yes. So we'll be looking for alternatives over
I
the
was
next
gonna
few
say,
years.
I'm surprised that
Oh,
nobody's
I
come
can
out
tell you-
with a municipal version of QuickBooks.
Right.
I
That
made
would
a-
be nice.
I made a deal with my accountant that I just take my paperwork and put it in a folder for that month, and I drive it over and give it to him. No, because
I don't
have to
blame
pay
you.
for the computer, I have to pay for the software.
Yeah.
Those two items right there.
Yeah.
You might, I'll pay him to do it once a month, just do the bookkeeping and.
We used to do
We
that,
usst to do that.
years
Where it's
ago.
gonna go, because you're, at $15 times those
Yeah.
limiting
It
accounts.
got cost prohibitive.
Yep, and that's monthly, it's not a
Right.
yearly, yeah, it's crazy.
Where we're looking to.
Okay.
So we need a,
Oh, I'll make the motion to authorize the movement of that money.
I'll second it.
Where's it going?
It's going from planning and zoning, 414, 420 to 401, 420. So we're just
No,
changing.
no numbers, please.
It's planning,
Actual funds.
it's planning and zoning software,
Okay,
and then it's going to admin software.
okay, thank you.
Oh, you don't even get into it, yeah, I know.
take a vote.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
That's all I have.
Okay,
We're done.
all right, no communications, any other business? Chief? Mayor? Marcus?
No.
Bruno?
I'm good.
Jim? Nancy? Jane?
I think I speak for all of us when we would like to pass our condolences along to Roger, and especially your wife.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry to hear that, but it seems like he had a long life, and
He did.
seemed like he was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he was.
Anthony? Brenda or Roger, you got it. All right, that takes us to public comment period number 2. Please state your name and address for the record and try to limit your comments to 3 minutes. Yes, sir. Step right up.
Dave Leplasky, 212 East Ridge Road. My question probably goes to Roger, and he's probably cringing already. Have we heard anything on what's happening with the stormwater with the Melrose project?
What do you mean, what's happening? I mean, they have a plan, they're gonna be building it to the plan.
Well, which plan? Because when I talked to Bob the other day, he said they weren't sure yet which way they were going with it, whether they were going across to the farm and down through,
Oh, you mean the extension, the off-site stormwater?
Yes.
Well, that we've been waiting for our borough-wide geophysical stormwater study.
I thought we was gonna be doing that in May.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's getting delayed, I think, because of what's going on with the quarry. They're monitoring the quarry level. But anyway, we'd originally talked about having, Bob Riot had offered the money, the park money in lieu of, to put that stormwater in across the horse farm property into the stream that goes down that way. But in doing the study, it kind of looks like it might be better just to maybe just take it down Grant Street. And we could we'd have to get a PennDOT highway occupancy permit since it's a PennDOT street. But our guys can probably install that. We can take it down and connect it into our system that's gonna go over to Shadowstone and under the railroad tracks. So, that might be the preferred route, but we don't know that yet for sure until we see the study and have those results, so.
When do we anticipate seeing?
He
some
had
info?
said he was trying to get the report here in April, and then he said May, so the problem is they stopped pumping at the quarry, and the quarry's filling up, and he's trying to figure out what that's gonna do with the injection wells and things like that, so.
So in the
So it should be
meantime,
very soon.
in the meantime, what's the builder gonna be doing with all the runoff water that's gonna?
Well, they already
possibly
have,
occur?
they have their stormwater basins they have to build. This pipe, what we're talking about, was gonna be, it was off-site, it was not part of the plan. He was willing to do it with his forces.
Where,
If you
There's-
remember, their stormwater was on their plans. They offered to help us with this in addition to what they were doing.
Right. Because of the concerns of the downstream property owners. So they'll be building 2 detention bases, one over on the Railroad Street side and then one right above Ridge Road. And it'll discharge where it discharges now, basically.
Through my yard.
Yeah, hopefully at the same rate. We'll see.
Hopefully it was right.
I hope so for Bill's sake.
Yeah.
You better put on another storm door. So we hope within the next month?
I hope so.
Okay. I shall return.
anybody else for public comment? Okay. All right. Closing public comment period number 2. Borough Council will conduct its next public meetings on Tuesday, May 28th, 2024, and Tuesday, June 11th, 2024, beginning at 7 p.m. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?